What's going on there? Uh-oh. That could be engine locked up. So that's on. Now I know a lot of yous who watch are old school mechanics, so I need your help. I need you to point me in the right direction. Alright guys, so today on the channel we're going to be going to my house and grabbing the Capri again. So a lot of you suggested things that could be up with it on the last video we posted. So today I'm going to be running through them comments and we're going to try and diagnose the misfire on it. Hear that? Personally, I think the fault on the car is more fuel related than spark related. I think it might be the injectors. So I'm going to run through all the spark stuff, and if all that's fine, I'll have to pull the injectors out. And we've got a company called, I think it's Alco Diesel. I know it says diesel, but we'll send them off to them and probably get them all checked and cleaned, if it is that.
You've still only got half a car though.
What?
What's going on here?
What do you mean? Oh, yeah. It means all this. And we had the lecky problem and never put it back together. All the bits are in the boot.
Are they?
Yeah. Oh well, let's go. Let's get to mine and get it. I realised I had the battery on it. Maybe best putting the other one on though. What was the other battery off? I've got two in the Touareg. I think it's Jono's Beamer one. Charged it up.
All this messing about is because Andy loves keeping batteries. And there's a reason why we've got loads of batteries left lying about. It's because they're shit and they don't work. But he's got a thing for keeping them and trying to charge them. Then this is what happens.
See, this is what I don't want.
That?
I don't want this every time I want to go on a weekend or something. Do you know what I mean? Just want it to crack up.
See if you can bump it from here to the trailer. You've got one go. And if it doesn't bump, let the clutch out. Put the clutch back in and try and get it up. Try and bump it there. No. Oh, go on. Right guys, so before we carry on with today's video, I just want to say a massive thanks to our new sponsor, Vehicle Score. So Vehicle Score is the one-stop shop for checking your car's history. Now if you're thinking of buying a car, this is what you need to be doing, so don't just buy it, Vehicle Score it. And if you want to save yourself 20%, don't forget to use code TVR20 at checkout or click the link in the description below.
That's all you've got to do is type in the reg, which is Lima Sierra 56 Bravo Victor Zulu, and then click check car. So as you can see, it's got a score of 141 out of 999, which is really bad really. But it's an old taxi and it was 400 quid, so we're not really bothered. 18 years old, 297,000 miles. Average yearly mileage, 16,500. So let's scroll down and have a little look. These are the packages you can buy. So you can have a look at the MOT history and all that for free, but you've got to buy the packages for basically to tell you if it's on finance, if it's wrote off, if it's had mileage, fraud, if it's been a taxi. Now, I'm pretty sure this one has. There's plenty of other things as well. Salvage check, import or exported. So the three packages are Ultimate, Ultimate Plus and Salvage. If you use code TVR20 or use our link in the description, you can actually get the Ultimate one for £7.18, roughly. You can get the Ultimate Plus for £9.58, or you can get the Salvage one for £2.38, which you're saving yourself a few quid on them, so don't forget to use that. Just put the Ultimate report first, just to show you how it works. Okay, so never been scrapped basically, no outstanding finance, never been categorised, it's not a high risk, never had the colour change. We have got a little warning here to the next taxi, obviously it's a Hackney so we know. Never been stolen, not salvage record, no plate change. Previous owners 3, that's not bad really. So we know it's been a taxi, but you know, no biggie there. 141 out of 999, which is rather crap, but again, it's a taxi and we know. Score breakdown, and this is telling you why it's got such a low score. But again, everything's sort of understandable. It's an old taxi, it's got high mileage. There's no issue for us. So the vehicle's over 10 years old, therefore may experience age-related reliability issues soon, which has affected basically the score. 3 out of 400. There's been major comments in the past few years MOTs. That's really bad.
So once again, I just want to say a massive thank you to Vehicle Score for sponsoring today's video. And if you want to support the channel, do a check on your own car and see if there's any hidden surprises you might not know about. And let us know in the comments what score it is that you get. Ours is 141.
Which is terrible.
Which is really bad.
Right, there we are. We've got it in and unloaded. First thing we're going to be checking is the spark plugs, just because that might indicate if it's lack of fuel or what. I'm not an expert on this, so basically I'm going to pull them out, all 6 out. I've put a piece of paper here. This is the front of the engine. I'm just going to, that's just for reference. I know it's not the firing order, but I'm going to put the plugs there and I'm going to inspect them on the bench here. Now, I'm not an expert on plugs. I can tell if it's running rich, but I might have to Google if they're running lean. I know they go a whitey colour, but then when they're running normal, they are a little bit white. So anyway, that's the first thing we're going to do. Quite easily and accessible, just down here. So I'll pull all them out and I'll show you what we're looking at. Right, so here's all 6 plugs out. Now, to be honest, I was expecting them to be lean, to not be getting enough fuel. Do you know what I mean? Now every one of these looks rich to me. Can you see that? It's pitch black, like. Can't even see the white of the electrode, or the white round the electrode. That's number 1 on the front. This is the second one. These are all on the, if you're looking at the car on the left hand bank, again, can't see, but they're not wet. Black, again, like dusty. Not wet. Now we did give this a good cranking as well when we were trying to start it, getting on the trailer. So I'd assume they'd be wet, to be honest. Again, same. All of them are black. But then these two, 4 and 5, look slightly wet. Now this one's slightly wet. Let me see if I can. Doesn't look like ringing, but it's definitely damp. It's got a petrol-y, oily smell, obviously. And then this one is quite wet. I'm not 100% sure. I think it's just petrol, to be honest, but yeah. So, not what I was expecting. I was expecting some lean ones, like it weren't getting the fuel, and that's why it was popping back in the last video and stuff like that, but so yeah, that's how it's doing. So let me know what you think about them. Are they running rich? I'm pretty sure they are, but I'm no expert. I've never worked on old cars, so I've got to do things the old way, and I'm having to learn. Next thing I'm going to do is check the firing order. Well, I know this one's from 1, 2 and 3, so I've laid them out like that. So I'm going to check if these run to the right position on the Dizzy. Now this should do. I'm going to have to Google this because, hang on, I have got a Haynes manual, but it's at home. Or we'll have to Google it. So we'll have a quick look in here. Capri 2.8i. Right, so I've just managed to Google the firing order for this, which is 142536. Now I've just gone through my leads and written them down there, which is 142536. So the leads are in the right order. Let me just show you this. I've seen 2 images now, 2 different diagrams which sort of contradict each other. Let me see if I can just find this one. It's not the best image, but you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, exactly how I've got it written down there, which is just by look. Now my Dizzy, 142536. That's the order I've got, and that is where my 1 starts as well. So they are in the right order. Now I remember after doing the video, I actually put the plugs in and I put the leads on it. So they have been replaced. Now that's not to say they're not broke. So I might put the multimeter across each one by one, and just see what the resistance is, see if I've got a broken wire. The coil is new. I bought that the other week after doing that video. So as far as I'm aware, I've got the Dizzy was new as well. So I've got a new Dizzy, new coil, new leads, new plugs, which would sort of lead me to think it was fuel, but do you think it could do what it was doing in the last video by over fueling? Oh. See that? Because they are definitely rich, them plugs. They're not lean in any way. So it's not lacquer juice. I need to learn all these old cars. Got too complacent with, putting things on diagnostics, and new cars they're that computerized, they run right, so they run at the right ratio, whereas these, can run rich, and then you've got to figure it out, which I'm not used to. Now I know a lot of yous who watch are old school mechanics, so I need your help. I need you to point me in the right direction. So I'm just trying to learn as we go. So it's the 2.8 Cologne engine as well. Yeah, so I'm going to do a resistance check on each lead, make sure all the leads are fine. I'll pull the Dizzy off, although it was new last year. Shouldn't be anything wrong with it, but I'll pull it off anyway and show you how that looks. And then we'll go from there. Right, so I've pulled all the leads off, and it just turns out we've got 2 long, 2 medium, and 2 short. Obviously, 2 long ones for fronts, middles, back cylinders. So, looking online, I've had a look of what the resistance should be for these leads. Now, I can only find on Burton Engineering, which is, I think, where I got the cables from. It's saying it has a resistance of 5.6 kiloohms per meter. So what I've done here is I've measured them, which is 78 centimeters, 68 centimeters, and 58 centimeters. So I've divided that 5.6 by 100. Yeah, ignore the squiggles. 5.6 divided by 100 equals 0.056, and then we times it by every centimeter we've got. So on here, the 78 gives a resistance of 4.3, the 68, 3.8, and 3.2 for the small ones. So now I'm going to get my multimeter and test these to see if it all adds up. And obviously it's not going to be, to the point, but as long as it's around about that same resistance, then we're good. I'm going to set this on 20k ohms. There we go, set up. And if there's no resistance, it gives us a score of 0. So I'm going to plug this in one end and touch the other end. It sends a little current down, and I've got 4.09 on that one. So that was my number 1. This is number 4. 4.09 that was. 4.2. So not bad. Let me just write that down. .5. Yeah, I'm going to see if we can put it where you could see it. You see that there? I don't know if you can work that out, but we'll have a go. So that's in that side. 3.5. 3.53. 3.53. And 3.59, yep. They're close. I don't think any of these are a problem yet. 3.01, 2.99, sound. Right, that is the leads. Well, the leads to the HT leads checked. I've not checked the King lead yet. So that's the actual values that Burton Engineering say the resistance will be. And that's what I'm getting. So 3, basically the short ones are 3, I'm saying 3.2, which is not bad. 3.5, which is saying 3.8, again not bad. 4.9, so it's virtually 4.1, 4.2. I'm saying 4.3. So I'm saying none of them leads are faulty. Now I did notice, yeah, I don't know if you can see down there, that metal clip. This one is slightly further down. Potential of that could have caused a slight misfire, I don't know. I don't think it's our issue, but I think it does need fixing. I don't know if I can just push that back through there a little bit, but I'm going to try. And then I'll pull the king lead off, measure that, find out what the resistance should be, and then just test that one, make sure that's not the issue. And if not, then we know our leads are all good. I do need to put everything back in and turn it over and watch, see if everyone's sparking. Now they were new plugs last year then, and the car hasn't done any miles because it's sat on my drive. But you never know. I've had madder things happen, so that's the next thing to do. Right, so that's all the leads checked. They all seem to pass the test, you know what I mean, with the resistances. I'm just looking through the comments on the last video because that's sort of what we're running through, what yous have suggested. And it is one now from Ashley Webster. Assuming you've checked the oil and you haven't just welded it up, I've just checked it now. It's fine. It could be a fuel starvation, blocked injector. Now, would they, running rich, say that is not a thing? I'm assuming they're all getting too much fuel. So change the fuel filter. I've already changed the fuel filter. That was done last year. Anyway, it's probably full of congealed fuel. Again, last year. So the fuel's only been in a year. When I got the car, I siphoned the tank. Now the fuel in there, I siphoned it old school with the hose. It was the worst fuel I have ever tasted in my life. Now I know you're not meant to be drinking it anyway, but it tasted bad. So anyway, I've got all that out. I put fresh V-Power in. And the fuel pump works, so that's powering. And the injectors, when I got it, the lad said 2 were bad, and I went and bought 2 second-hand ones. So, assuming them 2 second-hand ones are good, I don't know. I was leaning towards fuel, but I don't know now. When them plugs come out and they were all rich, I was expecting to see some that were lean, and they're not. So, I don't know what to do. I don't know whether to just send the injectors off anyway, take them out, get them sent off, get them tested. At least if they come back, then they've got a clean bill of health. I know it's not that. But it's old school, this stuff. I don't know what I'm doing with this old stuff. To be honest, I don't know what I'm doing with new stuff, but you know, I'm learning. Like I say, I've just done all the resistances on the wires there, they're all fine. Plugs are definitely getting juice. I'll tell you what, while I'm here, get me the light. I'm going to pull the Dizzy off. Now again, Dizzy was new last year. As you can see, it's spanking. I'm going to pull it off. Can't get my finger to it. Oh, we need a screwdriver. My battery's on charge as well, so we can give it a good few cranks in a bit and test if it's all sparking. There we go, that's off. Now that is off. Don't know if I pulled it off while I was doing the HT leads, but I've noticed that was off. Right. So, can you see that? Where's that torch gone? So, it's clean in there, like it's not majorly corroded. I mean, I'll give them a clean up just to be sure, but I'm pretty sure they're alright. As you can see, it was brand new. I need this torch bloody joined to my hip. There's the rotor arm. Pops off. Again, like new. So we've got brand new rotor arm, new Dizzy, new leads, new plugs. And it still seems like it's missing. Could be the timing. Now, I've not got a timing light, and I don't know anyone who's got a timing light. I've got a couple of people I could ask. I'm going to try and get myself a timing light today, so I can check the timing once we put it all back together. That's if we can get it running, to be honest. It wouldn't start before on the drive, but I have just charged the battery, so just looking through the comments now to see what else people have suggested. The 2.8 has a non-standard coil. Might be worth double checking. Low 6 to 9 volt running, 12 volt for starting. Check if the petrol feed and return on the that's the warm-up regulator. The mesh filters block up real easy and cause havoc. Ah, see, that could be a shout by John Taylor. So that's another thing I can look at, definitely. Warm-up regulator. Now, is that the one? I think, again, like I say, I'm new to old cars. So I think that is the warm-up regulator, that bit there, if I'm right. But yeah, something else we can look at. Like I say, I don't think it's spark. Now the coil, oh yeah, sorry. The coil saying it's non-standard coil. I got it off Burton Power. Not Burton Engineering, I think I said Burton Engineering before. Burton Power. And I got it off them. Now they're specialists in all this type of stuff. Give them what the car was and all that, and they've supplied it. So I'm pretty sure it's, because it's got a resistance wire, hasn't it? For when it's starting or something like that, or for when it's running. I don't know. I just want it running right. Right, here's one from Kevin Cleaver. That's my old teacher. He was one of my college tutor. I think he come in my 3rd year. So take a fuel sample. Not sure what I'd do with that. Where would I send that? Do a compression test, which I can do because we've got a compression tester. This will hopefully point you to the cylinders misfiring. Then do a cylinder leakage test. Diagnosis, it's in 1-2 hours without major dismantling. Okay, how do we do a leakage test? But again, another good shout there. I'll do a compression check. The battery's nearly charged now as well, so I could do that. I could do that now, really. Let me go and get the tool. Right, so the next job I had to do on the Capri was a compression test. Now, you're not going to see this. Well, you're not going to see cylinders 1 to 4 because I had the camera in time lapse like an idiot. But we do cylinder 5 and 6, so stay tuned for that. Now, here is a compression tester. All you do is remove the spark plug, screw that in its place, and then on this side, connect it to the gauge. Now, all you got to do is turn your car over when that's in, and it will give you a pressure in PSI of what that particular cylinder is making. And then, obviously, you need them all to be close to the manufacturer's spec. All the readings were a little bit down, but when you hear us do cylinders 5 and 6, you'll hear that the engine's turning quite slow. So I think that's part of the problem, why it was low. So that felt 110 PSI, that one. Right? Yeah. Right, so the last one is done. About 98 PSI. And the next thing we had to do was find out why the engine was turning slow. Right, so I think I found why it's turning slow. Liam come in then as I was cranking it. He said, have you got a bulb down here? Just let me put the jump pack on. And I'm going to turn it over. I'll show you what you see. Go on. Yeah. So that there, that you're just seeing light up, is the connection to the starter motor. And that turned quicker as well because I've got the jump pack on as well. So looks like my starter motor is knackered. Can't catch a break with this thing. Bloody hellfire. Alright guys, so that starter motor's threw a spanner in the works there. There was other things I wanted to test, but I'm not going to get round to it. I can't even see if the plugs are sparking. I was going to put it all back together, turn it over, see if they're all sparking. But yeah, with the starter motor going, I can't even do that. However, we did manage to test all the leads. The firing order was right. The dizzy's clean, the rotor arm's clean. The plugs look all good, like I say, they were new last year, so I'd clean them up and put them back in. But what would you suggest I do next? Like, I know you've had a lot more experience than these older cars, so tell me what you would test next. Now, we were working through a lot of the comments as what you suggested in the last video, but obviously the starter motor stopped it now, so I have found one second hand. It's through a friend of a friend, but I'm not going to be able to get it in time for this video going out. So in the next one, I'll be fitting a starter. I'll do another compression check with a free starter on it. And I'll give you all the results properly then. We'll do a proper one. It made a bang in the last video. Now, someone who I met suggested a rocker arm might have jumped off. So I'm going to have both rocker covers off. Just double check all them. I'll set the tappets. But yeah, what else would you check? Where would you go from there? Or would you just try and do away with the fuel system and go carb? You know what I mean? That's what someone else, a friend, suggested. He said, do away with the injection, the rubbish on these, go carb. So, you know, what would you do? Help me out. I don't know where to go from here. But yeah, I've got to get this starter picked up. Like I say, go from there. But yeah, that's going to be it for this video, unfortunately. So if you liked today's video, don't forget to leave us a comment, like the video, and if you've not already, subscribe, because it really helps the channel out. And you can also follow us on Facebook, Instagram and TikTok. See you in the next one.